And the others can join in too if they want.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
Online entertainment.
NoDQ.com.
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 The people that know more about me know this. I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! Whether it's the NoDQ Galaxy, the Jeff Meacham Network, the AGW Crew, Indie Force, or anything related to For the Win Productions, the gears of wrestling keep on turning, and we are here to give our thoughts, previews, and predictions. Good day to you all, and welcome to our panel for this week's Simply Predicting. It's Friday. You know what that means. AEW Rampage takes the airways 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And ahead of all that, tomorrow night, AEW Collision brings us an AEW Tag Team Championship matches. FTR defends the gold against MJF and Adam Cole Bay. Will Lightning in a Burberry bottle shock the world? And will we get new tag champs? As we are just 8 days away from the biggest party of the summer, going full throttle into Motor City, Detroit, Michigan, the Ford Field gets its first premium live event after 16 years. As the summer of tournaments continues to ensue with the G1 Climax, the 5-star Grand Prix, and shortly to come, N1 victory courtesy of Pro Wrestling Noah. But tonight, we are not here to talk about any of that, as tonight we are simply here to discuss NXT, the Great American Bash. Seriously, at the end of the month? Seriously? Before we get into all that, I would like to get a special word to our lead correspondent, that is the heart, the soul, the center of NXT, and get his thoughts on it. So, Great American Bash, what do you think? This simple fan could not agree anymore if he tried, but I digress. Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to Simply Predicting here on the Simple Brand. You know what this is. I'm the Simple Man of the Simple Brand and the voice of the JMN, and my name is Noah Foster, as we bring you our simple intro to the matches to come at the next premium live event, courtesy of this developmental brand and this NXT. This is the Great American Bash. Of course, I am Noah Foster. With me, as always, is my NoDQ Galaxy cohort in all things predictions. He takes place across all 5 leagues. Always great to see him, and he says yes to NoDQ quite effectively. Christopher Rotz. Chris, good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm getting ready with NXT Great American Bash this coming Sunday. It's going to be a banger. Whoever's competing in the Predictions League on Sunday, good luck to everybody that's competing in the NXT League. And always say yes to no.
Here and vote for candidate X, because again, he'll give it to you. Let's go ahead and get right into the predictions. For those that are tuning in live or on demand, please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. And again, your predictions and opinions matter too. I'll put them up in the chat as well. And please stay tuned for the Prediction League forum, is of course on my Twitter and the community tab on my simple YouTube channel. Shout out to everybody, of course, the City Predicting family. Appreciate all of you that's taken place here at some point. And of course, the family continues to grow as anybody who is a fan of wrestling can be part of the Simply Predicting fun. So without further ado, let's get right into it, as this is NXT, the Great American Bash. Here is leaderboard for Team NXT. How the fuck am I on top of this shit? And as far as the Galaxy goes, Ashley holds it down, while Chaz, Ross, Gina, and Chris, you are right there. A very small margin as we look at the, believe it or not, 4th NXT Premium Live event of 2023. Shout out to the 20 of you that so far put in your predictions, including but not limited to a live Team No DQ, Jerry Slaughter, JJ, Atomic Cody, Alistair, Scott Cater, Mark Anderson, Colin Andrew at the Cleaver with some prime cuts, Kimberly, Sienna, Jeff Chadwick, Horseman of Prediction, put it up, and Cass and DJW, as long as many others as well. And yes, I know people might be having a good time right now, but fuck it. It's my channel. I don't have Fox. And besides LA Knight, yeah. What the hell is that really?
Yeah.
All right, let's get right into it. The first match we're going to talk about here is the WTF match, because what the fuck is this 8-man oddity, and woman included? As you have TikTok rejects Noam Dar, who lost his mind worse than when he lost Alicia Fox. Teams look alongside Aura Mess that sounds like a mouth disease, taking on Dragon Lee, Nathan Frazier, and 2 Latina dancers. I don't even know what the hell to say about this match. I do not care about this match. I have little to no interest in this match. The fact that the Heritage Cup is playing as a pony to this match, the damn crime to what the Heritage Cup once stood for. Team Dragon Lee for the win, because as far as I'm concerned, the only metaphor that matters is what you can create in a sentence. Chris, what's your take on this? There's a reason why this is on the kickoff, but honestly, at this point, maybe W should just stop doing matches on kickoffs altogether. Because in the immortal words of The Rock, it doesn't matter.
Well, my thoughts is, I'm glad that they are slowly bringing the kickoff matches, but they've been using the kickoff matches just for NXT, not for the main roster. So hopefully the main roster can get kickoff matches back again. Let me go on to the forum. On the forum, I picked Metaphor for the win, and I'm picking Metaphor for the win because they haven't competed in a match as a group yet, and I personally believe this is the only way that they could get Noam Dar a win and get him contention for the Heritage Cup and get him his rematch again.
All right, fine. I guess that actually contextually makes sense, since Noam Dar did lose the cup, not competing for it. Wow. That was really brilliant. Bloody brilliant. And as far as the TikTok rejects, yeah, give them a friggin' viral moment that will get less clicks than Grayson Waller. What the fuck? But I just can't get behind a group called the Metaphor when they don't even spell out the word. I'm just going to say, because Dragon Lee and Nathan Frazier are the most capable individuals in this 8-mixed tag team, I'm just going to say the Heritage Cup holder gets the win here. Maybe he can make the Heritage Cup special again, because I don't need to see the Heritage Cup stuck in an endless loop or a never-ending story with Noam Dar, Nathan Frazier, and Dragon Lee. And what happened to this guy that used to be part of the hottest tag team under the sun? Yeah, you tell me. Okay, well, Jeff Chadwick's not here, so too bad, brother. Sorry about your damn luck. And if you're drinking a Steve Weiser, check this out later. Let's go ahead and talk about this match, as Dominic Mysterio found a way over the wall of Monday Night Raw, courtesy of his mommy, and has stolen the NXT North American Championship, as it's now on the line in a triple threat match, as Dirty Dominic Mysterio takes on Wesley, the former NXT North American Champion, and Mustafa Ali. And speaking of triple threats, please welcome to the Simply Predicting panel. He is the Renegade, founder, creator, Cassidy Studios. He gives the reviews. He is my color analyst. He gives strong diatribes too. And we're still working on that, considering how difficult it is to blur the lines between professional wrestling commentator and sports entertainment storyteller. But I think we got a good chemistry. Very curious to see what he does next week, Saturday night. Let's see what he does this weekend, including tonight. The Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams.
Hey, JJ, nice haircut, dude.
It's the way my hair always looks. I just usually have a hat on.
I like this hat. JJ, good to see you, my friend. How are you, brother?
Good to be seen. Little bit tired. Just got done doing a 2+ hour live stream with Jeff and my dad talking about the top 10 solo Beatles songs.
Nice.
And now, quick bathroom break, refresh my drink, and here I am to talk wrestling, to coin a phrase.
Damn it.
But it's not your NXT, damn it. It's my NXT.
Yes, I know. I am Party A, you are Party B, and we have Party C in the middle of it all. Which party does he go with? You tell me. That being said, JJ, good to see you, and I know this is your NXT. Of course, folks that don't know, this is coming on Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Peacock.
Actually, I believe it's supposed to start at 7. There's a kickoff. There's a kickoff match, yeah. So
yeah, but our
it's
kickoff's
supposed
be
to be
better
at
than
4 o'clock Pacific. Yeah, it will be, but still, there is going to be a kickoff match.
JJ, one word. What team wins? Noam Dar or Dragon Lee? I guess
Dragon Lee.
Good man. All right. Well, that being said,
I honestly can't stand Noam Dar. I don't get him. There's nothing about him that is appealing to me. And then you factor in his stable of rejects. Looks like the island of misfit toys from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I thought you were going to say Wish.com Athena.
But yeah, give me Dragon Lee, give me Nathan Frazier, and whoever the girls are that are with them. It's like I watch every week, but I have no idea what their names are. That tells you how much they're featured.
Well, hey, they still feature more women than the friggin' main roster. Sorry,
this is accurate.
Tell me when I'm telling lies. All right, anyway.
And depending on which fans you ask, they're booked better than the AEW women's roster. So,
okay, open mic night, suggested topics. Stay tuned, folks, for the weekly Saturday Night Shenanigans hosted by JJ Williams. Open mic night, Saturday, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 hour after Collision. You never know who might be there. You never know what might be talked about. But honestly, at this point, there might need to be a statistical, analytical address on the state of women's wrestling on the Western Front. That isn't Impact Wrestling. Just saying. Anyway, sorry to go off a tangent.
It's all good.
Yeah, you're good, brother. JJ, why don't you go ahead and kick things off here with your thoughts on this triple threat NXT North American Championship match? Since Dominic Mysterio found his way into NXT and Judgment Day have bled their purple souls into the white and gold, they've kind of taken over to a degree. And with his mommy at this point, it pretty much might as well be safer than Child Protection Services. So at this point, what's your thoughts on this triple threat? Again, triple threats, Buffer, Fall Guy. What's next for this championship? Do we get a new champion?
I think Dominic is going to retain here. I think that although it may be too little too late to some fans, a lot of us really criticized Dom for going straight to the main roster and not doing his time in NXT.
Yeah.
I think Triple H heard those rumblings, and this is his way of trying to repent for the father's sins, so to speak. You know, Dom is now going to get his time in NXT, but ever since turning heel and aligning with Judgment Day, we've already seen such tremendous growth out of him that giving him the North American title is a great start for Dom. I look to see him hold this for a little while. I don't think he's going to lose it right away, Sunday. I don't even think he's going to lose it at SummerSlam, which, remember, I had brought up on Open Mic Night a few weeks back about how they were talking about featuring some NXT on the main roster pay-per-views. Dominic, with the North American title, could be a SummerSlam match because he's a main roster talent as well. So there's some potential there. But I don't think he's going to lose it at SummerSlam. I think he's going to hold it probably until, at the soonest, No Mercy. The newly announced pay-per-view, PLE, the end of September in Bakersfield, California.
Yeah. California.
Which,
All
let's
right.
just take a minute here, subtle subtangent. Raw's going to be in Ontario that Monday. The PLE for NXT is going to be in Bakersfield that Saturday. I wonder if SmackDown is going to be in either LA or Anaheim.
Well,
Just throwing that out there. It hasn't been announced yet, but if the rest of the crew is traveling through California at that time, Ontario, next you're going to hit Anaheim or LA on your way up to Bakersfield. I'm just saying.
hey, you said yourself, California's 2 states in itself, but if they could find a way to come together in the middle, I see exactly what you're saying.
But yeah,
That,
I think Dom is going to retain. I think Mustafa Ali is going to take the pinfall. That way, Wesley is just kind of the buffer guy, and he still has his gripe to a legitimate one-on-one rematch. Sucks for Ali because I like what they've been doing it with him, but he's kind of like there.
he's been there since 2000 freaking 19 when he was shoved into Kofi Mania and got booed out the damn building that I was there live to see. But I digress. Yeah, by the way, most people are going with Team Dragon Lee. Anybody with sense will pick Team Dragon Lee, I think. 21 out of the 28. As far as the triple threat goes, Chris, most people are going with Dirty Dom. JJ does make a point. At this point, again, NXT still developmental. Dominic Mysterio is an established main roster superstar, mid-card to a degree, raised by his stock in the fact that he is side by side with Rhea Ripley, despite what the internet thinks about that.
Yeah,
So,
and think about this, because Jeff brought up this point on Open Mic Night. You've got Mommy with the Raw Women's title. You got Dom with the North American. If Balor can best Seth freaking Rollins, and if Priest can cash in the briefcase at SummerSlam, Judgment Day's on top. And something that even the Horsemen and Evolution couldn't do because you've got 2 world champions.
that's a fair point. We'll see soon enough. But Chris, your takes on this triple threat match. I mean, again, Wesley, dominant NXT North American champion. It took somebody outside NXT to get the damn belt off him by hook and by crook. I'm just going to call it as I see it, all right? Referee might be blind, but I'm not. And then Mustafa Ali, I don't think he's Big G. I don't think he's just happy to be there. But hey, I guess he's getting a payday and he's being booked. So there's that. So, Chris, your thoughts on this triple threat?
Well, I'm glad you picked this as the first match on the main roster, not main roster. I botched that up. You picked this as the first match to predict because I have a gut feeling this is going to be the opening match on Sunday. I have a gut feeling it's going to be the opening, and personally, this is going to steal the show. I feel this triple threat is going to steal the whole show and is going to set a pace for the rest of the night. And personally, we have to think this wasn't supposed to be the triple threat match that we were supposed to get at Great American Bash. It was supposed to be Wesley, Mustafa Ali, and Tyler Bate. And personally, we were going to that moment. But Shawn Michaels and higher ups, they booked themselves into a corner and had Dominic Mysterio change the whole entire landscape of NXT completely. Personally, we know Rhea Ripley is going to be in his corner on Sunday night. I'm ruling Mustafa Ali out. There's no way they're giving it to Wesley again. I'm going to tell you this. On the forum, I have Dirty Dom Mysterio. I'm sticking to Dirty Dom. There's no way they're taking that championship off of him. He just won the championship. And I'm hearing rumblings that we're going to get all of Judgment Day having all the gold. So I'll get more to that information later on in the show.
All right, fair enough. And at the end of the day, again, triple threats, there's no disqualification, so you can fight dirty bell to bell, but hopefully Rhea Ripley and Dom Mysterio keep it clean on the outside of the ring after that. Just saying. That being said, yeah, I agree with y'all as far as contextual basis goes. It makes sense. And if they are going to try and make NXT a third brand, LOL, brand split, LOL, brand identity, yeah, right. And try to add a freaking NXT title in some way or fashion to SummerSlam, Dominic Mysterio is your guy, but it feels like a filler match to me on the card that SummerSlam is already going to provide and already has provided 7 matches in, not fully booked. Either way, yeah, I'll give it to Dom. He holds on to the title. Mustafa Ali eats the fall. And if Wesley doesn't get it back in a turnaround, because I don't think they're going to treat this like John Cena and Kevin Owens, damn, that was so good. I do think that maybe somebody like the former Carl Fredericks, Eddie Thorpe, for example, might be able to get the title. So we'll see soon enough. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Sean Garner, good to see you. J Chip, good to see you, my friend. It's going very well, and I hope everything's well with you and your families again. Everybody that's watching, please like, subscribe, comment, and tell friends. We do this for all the biggest shows and all things wrestling. Shout out to the W family on the Twitter. And again, I always do these things live and unfiltered. Simple as that. All right. Well, good stuff in this opening thought. And again, 85 picked Dirty Dom, why 7% picked Mustafa Ali, and same people, basically same percentage, picked Wesley. So 2 people for the challengers, respectfully. Everybody else is with the champion. Although I think they're looking more at the second than the champion, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Anyway.
see, that's the weird thing about this match is that if it hadn't been taken by Dom in recent weeks, I would have picked Ali, because I think they really want to push him down there, much as the same way they're trying to reinvent Baron Corbin, who we'll get to in a little bit. But with Dom having picked up the title a couple weeks ago, you can't take it away from Dom. He is just so over with that heel heat. You know, you're going to get that Roman Reigns feel now, where who's going to be the one to beat Dom? Who's going to be the one to take it away from him? Especially if he's always got his Judgment Day running buddies somewhere laying in the wings.
Particularly his mommy, who was the most dangerous member of Judgment Day.
But I would have given it to Mustafa Ali, because it looks like they really want to try to reinvent him. But I don't think that they're just passing it to Dom to pass it to Ali.
No.
At least not yet. Maybe like I said, no mercy. But that's the soonest I could see Dom losing it, is a nice little couple-month run.
The thing about that, JJ, no mercy's not in Chicago. If Mustafa Ali is going to have a big moment, do it in his hometown. At this point, Mustafa Ali is more utility than Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph Ziggler was more successful.
That's fair. But right now, they're booking Mustafa Ali. About as many people care about him as that care about the city of Bakersfield. So it'd be a perfect reason to put the belt on him there.
Well, you talk about people that care. You talk about reinvention. You gave a perfect segue to this match, and we'll have Chris kick things off here as, again, a guy that went from goober to Uber, not driver, but basically trying to reinvent himself from ground zero, is going to do it against somebody I did not expect. This is the most random match on this card yet, but okay, let's see what happens. As Gable Steveson, you heard me right. Gable Steveson, the guy, you remember him showing up at WrestleMania 30.8 and then being MIA? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Apparently he's been involved in JJ's NXT in a recreation of what was once Underground, but not run by Shane McMahon. So this one is much more kid-friendly. Either way, I guess they've been doing rounds while Baron Corbin came back with his Lone Wolf fame, brought back all his gimmicks, challenged previously for the NXT Championship. How about that hot shit? And now we have this one-on-one match. So, okay. So, I guess, Chris, the thing for me is, what am I supposed to expect? Gable Steveson, Kurt Angle, prototype, Baron Corbin, John Cena, the prototype, as far as the wrestling goes. I don't think this is going to be a wrestling match, clearly. I think this is going to be more so character showcase. And whatever character Baron Corbin is trying to establish versus what Gable Steveson has been trying to maybe create. Chris, what's your take on this singles match? First time ever.
Well, here's a little bit of an information. Kurt Angle's last opponent was Baron Corbin.
Don't remind me.
And Gable Stevenson's first opponent is Baron Corbin. So both Kurt Angle and Gable Stevens, they're best friends and all. They were on Raw together, SmackDown, when they celebrated Kurt Angle's birthday in Pittsburgh, where I was at last year, and that was fun. And now this makes perfect sense. Kurt was Baron Corbin's last match. Gable Steveson is first match with Baron Corbin. So that's like long-term storytelling right off the bat. But I'm going to tell you, Gable Steveson is going to go with suplexes left and right with Baron Corbin. I don't see Baron Corbin winning this. He could be a bum. He could be a lone wolf. He could go happy. He could go sad. I don't care. But Gable Steveson, this is his first match this Sunday. He's going to go out there, prove to the best, and prove to the whole entire universe to invest in him. And I think Gable Steveson beats Baron Corbin this Sunday at Great American Bash.
Well, a majority definitely agree with you on that. 85%, why 15% did go with Baron Corbin. So, again, JJ, what Baron Corbin more so are you expecting to see in any capacity? And is there a way he could redefine himself to get the victory here? Or is this a foregone conclusion like Chris is alluding to? What's your thoughts on this?
This match is really a head scratcher for me because on the one hand, you don't want to job Gable Steveson out in his first match.
No.
On the other hand, Corbin is trying to reinvent himself, getting away from the lone wolf, the happy Corbin, the bum-ass Corbin, the King Corbin,
Keep going.
and trying to find
and Constable Corbin.
Yep.
Like I was saying, and trying to find who Baron Corbin truly is.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to job him out in his first real match in that quest. So, unless you have like a schmoz finish, some kind of double DQ, double count out, double pinfall attempt where, both men's shoulders are down at the same time. I picked Gable Steveson officially, and I'm going to stick with that pick. But it's really just one of those matches that you look at and you're like, who thought this one out? Really? Because, like I said, you don't want to job either one of them out.
No.
One's establishing a career, one's trying to reinvent his career. And if you're going to have someone try to reinvent themselves and hand them loss after loss, you're not going to get anywhere with trying to reestablish somebody.
No, you aren't. I think they put themselves in a corner personally because, again, what's one of my biggest critiques when it comes to this NXT? It's like IKEA where you just have a bunch of extra pieces and you don't know what to do with them. And then you add more just cuz, or you think that they will fit better. I mean, at this point, what the hell am I trying to figure out here? Trying to match these two together, okay? I guess Corbin will get the cheap heat. Gable Steveson will show he's a collegiate athlete, but what else am I supposed to expect here? Like, what's the substance? What draws me into this? Honestly, nothing. And either man right now is in a no-lose situation. You might as well have Von Wagner and Robert Stone come in talking about we're bigger than both these men and throw the match into chaos just to bring some different context to try and give both of these men something. Maybe turn them into an impromptu tag team because you said it yourself. Maybe Baron Corbin should go to being a tag team player at some point again and try and, build something out of that before he goes back to being the lonely guy that dwells off My Chemical Romance. I don't freaking know.
Von Wagner would have been a great opponent because then if you job him out, it's not a big deal. Even Tyler Bate, as much as I wouldn't want to see him have to job to Gable Steveson, he's established. So to be beaten by somebody with the pedigree of Gable Steveson, that's not going to hurt Tyler Bate.
No.
But it's going to
sounds
hurt
like-
Corbin because they're trying to reinvent him.
But also to that point, Tyler Bate right now is just so it's like I don't know whether or not he's got. I don't think Shawn Michaels fully knows what way to go. More particularly with a lot of men down there in NXT, and I think that's the biggest flaw. But I digress. Jerry, good to see you. Monty, hey all, good to see you. And King Mike, I think King Mike hit the nail on the head and literally echoed our sentiments. Why we're all picking Gable Steveson. Duh. If Baron Corbin loses, he might as well go into freaking retirement. I mean, seriously. If he loses clean to Gable Steveson and doesn't show us something afterwards, like a renewed fire or ruthless aggression, damn it, he's done. Game over. Get retired. Give him his golden parachute. Bye, see ya. Enough. Dadgummit.
Right? Get him one of
I hope
those
you're right,
retirement
Jerry.
Rolexes.
Get him the cheapest Rolex with Cuba Zirconium for under $500 at your local pawn shop.
Oh, a Folex. Got it.
Hey, you get me. See, I like the finer things in life, but I digress. Anyway, speaking of finer things and talking about, cheap, effective, wild, shenanigans, something cooking, I'm going to actually talk about a match and lead this off because I'll say it, and I'm on point for this. Impact Wrestling is the leader on the Western Front in booking, respecting, redefining, and creating women's professional wrestling. Damn it! But I digress. However, the WWE, particularly the NXT women's division, has more depth, has more identity, has more variety than the entire WWE main roster, showcasing bite me if you think otherwise and tell me I'm telling lies. And that's why we have not one, but two matches here, and they're not even just plug-play championships. One of them is this. Let's freaking go. As Roxanne Perez, the prodigy, takes on Blair Davenport in how fitting of a title. A Weapons Wild match. Ain't no fireworks going to be happening here, but definitely attitudes are at a red glare. Let's go ahead and talk about this one, shall we? Because I think this is the first match on this card that we're truly interested in. So, Roxanne Perez, a former NXT Women's Champion. Blair Davenport, former challenger for the NXT Women's Champion last year, where JJ and I called Worlds Collide. It was that triple threat the last time we saw her before she got injured, with Mandy Rose and Michael Satamore. Blair Davenport came up short. Since then, we were wondering, when will she return? And over the coming months, we've had these mystery assaults from a masked assailant unknown until it finally came shown on NXT. And then she revealed herself to be, hey, spoiler alert if you didn't guess it already, Blair Davenport, who's basically become a bigger bully than Cora Jade. And at this point, trying to make a name for herself at the expense of the former NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne Perez. Why she got some wisdom of Booker T to stand up for yourself and literally echo one of the best segments ever in WWE sports entertainment history, attacking Blair Davenport at a convenience store, price check on female jackass, but I don't think she cleared the register. So now we have a Weapons Wild match where these two can do whatever the hell they want to each other. Blair Davenport being a former top gadget of Stardom, she's no stranger to being violent. But this tests Roxanne a different way. Why she won a previous Weapons Wild match against her former best friend, Cora Jade, Blair Davenport has far more experience in a unfiltered environment. So that being said, I'm looking very forward to this. But again, not her first match since coming back to NXT, but her first major match since coming back to NXT. Roxanne Perez, in my opinion, already has been established enough in the public eye that she could be something, if booked properly, on the main roster. Or it could get lost in the shuffle like most of the NXT calls at this point. Where's Indy Hartwell? You tell me. That being said, I'm torn on this because both these women, for me, still have a direction, a stance I feel like to go in NXT. But Blair Davenport, she's done dually squat major-wise, while Roxanne's done everything. I think that this doesn't end here, but it escalates it. And this is a nice way to keep Roxanne away from the title. So I'm going to say, in an environment where anything goes, that Blair Davenport capitalizes and gets the win. But I don't think it's going to be a one-up, and I'm very curious to see what's next. So I'm going with Blair Davenport. Let's go with you next, JJ. What's your thoughts on this women's grudge contest?
You know, I really like Roxy. She's really grown on me since seeing her come into the company. At first, I was kind of like, "What's the big deal about this chick?" You know, she's pretty. She smiles a lot. She's too white meat baby face for me.
21 years of age.
But this whole thing with Blair, she's kind of developed a little bit more of an edge. And she's showing me a different side of her personality. And I'm liking what I'm seeing. Now, I do agree that there's got to be some more going on here. And the more I think about it, the more I think that I may have marked my pick hastily. So since we've got time to change, I am officially changing my pick to Blair Davenport.
Okay.
Because I feel like Roxy won't lose anything if she loses. Blair will. What was the purpose of all of these attacks if Blair loses this high profile match?
And just to echo what Sean Garner said, JJ, while I was on NXT TV, Blair Davenport may already got a win on Roxanne, but this is Blair's second ever major match in her WWE career. First one since coming back from injury.
Blair needs something to keep the momentum rolling for her. You can't have her lose yet. I won't be mad if Roxy wins because that was my gut instinct. That was my first pick, but I'm saying it now. I am making an official change in my pick. I pick Blair Davenport to win.
All right. Duly noted. Okay. And again, at this point, I could honestly see somebody coming out on Blair's behalf because I don't think we, Chris, are unaware that Roxanne has her share of critics and enemies in that NXT. What if, this is just me going way out there, back in the Black and Red, there were two particular individuals that had quite a feud, and one of them right now hasn't been doing a whole lot of anything. What if Stevie Turner comes in on Blair Davenport's behalf and helps Blair get the win, and you form, get this, JJ, a new female tag team dynamic? But it's also one of those things where I do wonder if Blair needs that second, that power, since she holds herself to such a pedigree. But either way, Blair, in my opinion, Chris, needs the victory to have something going for her in the fall, especially if the next show is called No Mercy, because I figure if Blair wins, Roxanne will stop at nothing to finally make sure she is no longer the bully of NXT. So, Chris, what's your take on this match?
Well, this is going to be a match that is going to be crazy, to say the least. And personally, when I saw that little grocery store segment, it brought back memories of Stone Cold Steve Austin and Booker T. That brought so many memories, and I had a gut feeling Booker T pitched that idea to creative to have Roxanne Perez and Blair Davenport in that little grocery store segment. And personally, I'm going to tell you, if I have to compare with the women and the men, I think Stone Cold and Booker T did a good job instead of Roxanne and Blair Davenport in my eyes.
Well, again, apples to oranges, and also WWE originality. LOL. Just saying. Anyway, continue.
I'm actually gonna be disagreeing with all of you guys. I'm going with Roxanne Perez because this is in her hometown of Texas.
Oh.
And we are seeing a different side of Roxanne, and we're going to see that different side on Sunday, and that's going to go up to a whole new level on Sunday. And I know what you guys are saying. WWE hometown, they don't always win. But this is Shawn Michaels NXT, so anything can happen. But I see Roxanne winning, and I see her finally gain a rematch for the NXT Women's Championship. And you have to look at this. If it is Tiffany Stratton versus Roxanne Perez at NXT No Mercy, that match will be money. And you have to get promoters for that match. And personally, that is money right off the bat. Tiffany and Roxanne, and that will probably be Roxanne's final match in NXT before going to the main roster. And personally, I think Roxanne wins, and she's going back to the championship picture once again.
All right. That's a very fair take, actually. I'll give you that. He gave a fair take, but as soon as he said home, I was like, red flag. And JJ and I were literally like, yeah, JJ, you see what I'm thinking? You see what I'm thinking?
But to his point,
Yeah.
in NXT, in my NXT, damn it,
But you digress.
they've been a little bit more respectful when it comes to people in their hometowns.
That is true. See,
You
this
know?
match could go either way. This match could go either way.
You got my head turning when you mentioned somebody coming out to help Blair Davenport.
Yeah.
A certain mean girl of NXT posted one word on her social media after her defeat this past week on TV. Simply, bye. And that's resident mean girl Cora Jade, who has a long-standing history with Roxanne Perez.
Exactly.
What if Cora is the one to come out and help Blair? You know, the social media post gets everybody talking. Is she retired? Is she going to the main roster? What's going on? And here she comes back and costs her former best friend, who she got in the company, this huge match in her hometown.
Becomes a platinum blonde and joins Bea Priestley. I mean, it's not too wild, pun intended, to rule out. Again, the last time we had a Women's Wild match, who was involved in it? Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, and Roxanne got the win. So not only has Roxanne gotten the win in this environment, but it is in her home state. Botch, not town, state. But to your credit, yes, this NXT does seem to give more of a love to actually giving a moment to a homecoming hero. But again, Blair Davenport, she's done duly squat, while Roxanne Perez has done everything up and above. Tag, Dusty, title, even the first ever Iron Survivor. Let's not forget that. And I guarantee they're going to do that again this year. What else does Roxanne need to do? Yep, there you go. What else does Roxanne need to do in this NXT? JJ, you and I talked about the Royal Rumble when she showed up in that. We thought she was on her way to a call-up immediately following WrestleMania weekend. Somehow, though, they're still keeping her down there. I feel to maybe just make sure she's comfortable with the one thing that got her the most. That's her own anxiety. Because the last thing we need is another Lars Sullivan issue. Just saying.
Yeah, there's that, and there could be the fact that, you know, they didn't want to get accused of favoritism or anything by hot-shotting her to the main roster in a year.
That's,
you know, you look at somebody like Zoe Stark, who got the same Rumble appearance and got the call-up, and how long has she been down in NXT? She's been in NXT for a minute. I believe, if memory serves me correctly, and I could be wrong because I wasn't watching then, but I believe she was around during your NXT.
She was in the Capitol Wrestling Center. She was around during that time. You're absolutely right.
And then you look at Indy Hartwell. How long was she down there before she got called up?
Longest tenured female competitor in that NXT.
So while Roxy may have every box checked, they may not want to get accused of playing favoritism and hot-shotting her. Maybe the only reason that she didn't called up this time around. Although I am hearing rumblings of another round of call-ups post SummerSlam, which is only a week away. And that's going to factor heavily into a match we're going to get to in a few moments. But if she's somebody that's going to be called up in the next round of call-ups, whether it's post SummerSlam or post Mania next year, you don't want to get her back in the title picture, because then you're just going to have her drop the belt again.
Yeah, that's true. And Tiffany Stratton, she is an original in this NXT. They are trying to build, and even she says she needs to build herself before even figured about going up to the main roster. Why people already speculate that, hey, you should be already here, or people think, hey, they're going to put you up here. Again, you don't have to like Barbie girl, extreme Beverly Hills 90210, privileged rich girl, but you can respect the person behind Tiffany Stratton in knowing she's not ready, but she's trying to be. And that goes the commitment of the competitor, not the company. So again, I'm torn, but either way, especially since the last thing was a freaking convenience store thing where Bronson got the better, I'm just using W logic at this point, and Blair Davenport needs something. If she loses here, what does she do? Attack Wendy Chu? So, and I think Wendy Chu is still injured. So,
as is Nikita Lyons.
Nikita Lyons is still injured too? Damn.
Yeah, she was the first person that got taken out by Blair.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Wendy Chu was second.
Good grief almighty. People need to freaking watch their back in a freaking parking lot.
Now, I have been seeing Nikita be a lot more active on social media lately.
That's good.
You know, I believe it was a knee injury. Her legs are looking, good. Like she's got mobility. I don't see any like severe taping or bracing. So hopefully she'll be getting ready to come back here sooner rather than later. But, don't know how much longer her or Wendy will be on sidelines.
Right. Well, again, I never wish ill will to anybody trying to make a name for themselves or make something out of themselves in the industry. Either way, I wish them absolutely the best here. Let's see what King Mike says real quick. Tiffany made a huge mistake. While yes, it's good to know your limits and never even make it main roster, can only wish her luck for the opportunity again. Yeah, that's true, but I don't think the other higher ups outside the name Vincent K. McMahon are nearly as petty if you simply tell them no to your progression where they want to accelerate you beyond your believable limits at this time. Just saying. Again, don't be fickle. All right. Well, good talk, guys. And again, respect women in wrestling. Book it better. Main roster. And other companies included. Follow the Impact Wrestling example. Wish you had a Gail Kim, but you don't. Too bad, so sad. Damn it, but I digress. Let's go ahead and move on to our next match where, in the criminal justice system of NXT. Oh, the hell with this. What is this? Seriously? They got this match under some fake-ass court clearing? You're telling me they try to recreate a lame-brain Criminal Minds Law and Order case that got this freaking thick-blooded Italian arrested only to be freaking released by his boy Stacks and get this tag title match? What the hell is this? All right, in all seriousness, got his boys on top. Wolfgang and Mark Coffey with the Iron King, Joe Coffey in the corner, defend the gold traditionally now against, oh, fuck me, the Tony D'Angelo family. Tony D'Angelo and Stacks. All right, I'm just going to say it right now. These two have been on an escapade for these freaking tag titles since I don't freaking know when. I think Vengeance Day, if not WrestleMania Stand Deliver. They delayed it basically after the Don got ratted out, I think, by Joe Coffey for something still undisclosed, LOL. But somehow Stats been fighting back, found the evidence. They got him released from the clink, and he earned this tag team title opportunity. How many times you're going to run this back? Gallus, family. Gallus, the family. Gallus, the family. Since you got the Creepers out of the NXT, which I seriously hate. Chris, your thoughts on this? Did the D'Angelo family finally get it done?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. This is going to be a good match between these two teams.
I will say that. I'm not going to deny their talent.
And personally, I kind of enjoyed this storyline with Stacks playing the mastermind of this, turning his back on Tony D just to be with Joe Coffey, and then that turned into a match. And finally, Tony D'Angelo is on NXT again. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoy him back in Orlando, not in jail. But overall, it's going to be a solid match. I think we're going to be in for a title change here. I'm going with Tony D'Angelo and Stacks for the win. And personally, the only way I could see Gallows retaining the championship if Stacks or Tony D'Angelo turn on each other and we get a Tony D'Angelo Stacks feud going on with each other. But that's long-term booking, and I'm overthinking about that.
You really are.
The D'Angelo family is going to get the win, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to tell you, I think Gallus has been like the most boringest tag team champions that I have ever seen in NXT. They're not. When they won the NXT Tag Team Champions, I was happy for them. They are nice. I know they're popular in NXT UK, but in the United States NXT, I just feel like they're boring to me. And that's why we need new blood, new change of pace, and it's time to get the Don of NXT and get the family what they want, and that's championship gold.
Again, this NXT is not my NXT. It's also not NXT UK. I'll give Gallus credit, though, for trying to establish a kingdom in a freaking college-age environment. So, that being said, ironically enough, you're kind of on the ball there, but also it's okay to be torn because, believe it or not, gents, it's almost 50-50. 53% are going with New Chance, while 46% are going with the Gallus boys staying on top. And what JJ alluded to with the potential of another round of call-ups, Lord help that freaking talent roster. This literally could be another one, considering how long the Dawn has been involved in your NXT, particularly, JJ. Although at some point, I think people have been talking about Gallows and Drew McIntyre getting together since Sheamus has the Brawling Brutes. Maybe Drew McIntyre can run his own faction or join the freaking Thumb. I still think they should have Piper Niven to this, but I digress. Either way, yeah, your tag team direction in NXT really has no other direction if the Dawn at this point doesn't get it, considering how many different story angles Tony D'Angelo has been through. With the street fight with Dijak in the cage, with Stacks sacrificing his own body to preserve his family, and we saw what happened with that, to Stacks really fighting for his Dawn's freedom. But again, the Mafia, again, can you trust each other? Blood runs thicker than water. As much as I hate to say it, I think, Chris, you very well could be right at this point, because if they don't win it here, how many chances do you give a freaking, team like this? I'm actually begrudgingly, this is where I put bias aside and go with context, because I do think he's right. I'm actually going to go with you and pick that D'Angelo gets the gold too. That being said, JJ, what's about the you? Are you with the family as you've been for the long haul? Or do you believe somehow that the Gallus boys stay on top?
Gallus boys fall down.
There it is.
And I completely agree with what Chris is saying about the breakup. I just don't think they're going to turn yet. I think it's going to happen a little bit later in the year, building towards Stand and Deliver next year. And we'll have Stacks versus Tony Stand and Deliver next year.
Try to become the next Dawn of NXT. I see exactly what you're saying. Again, Chris, you very well could be onto something, but yeah, at this point, I don't even know.
Because at the end of the day, it's Stacks that's holding the family together. And really that's going to be his argument as it gets later and later. They'll win the belts because of Stacks. They'll lose the belts because of Tony. And everything that's been happening that's been successful has been because of Stacks. sacrificing himself to Dijak, like you pointed out, taking care of the Gallus boys to get Tony's freedom, winning the titles. All that is going to be on Stacks so that when they lose the belts, because Tony gets pinned, that's going to be what really thrusts Stacks to that next level and trying to take over Tony D.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that. All right. Quick subtendent here. So we're talking about tag team wrestling. Let's go ahead and talk about the other side of tag team wrestling. And why don't we let JJ give a diatribe here on this, since he was so eloquently strong on the Money in the Bank tag title match. And we saw those titles change hands again shortly after. When are they going to change the NXT tag titles to match the world and the women's? I think he means by name convention. Let's see. You want to combine it with the blueberry and cherry straps? I'm just going to say no. Keep them separated at this point. No.
Yeah, the NXT men still have enough going for it to have its own separate tag division. You're not going to get Steen Erico, Owens and Zayn coming down to NXT to defend the tag titles. Like
Owens.
You can get the Karens.
It's just
not going to happen.
I still hate their Karen gimmick, but they're so damn underrated. I'm glad to see them actually have something, but still,
They really are. And did you see Deanna's post congratulating Chelsea?
Of course I did, because guess what, folks? It's not just fans that can actually engage, enjoy, follow, or support something else besides their own company or one company, not just the company. They actually can look at the industry and support others in all things wrestling. What a wild concept when Deonna Purrazzo admits, yeah, I look at WWE and NXT and AAA and Ring of Honor and AEW. What a weird idea to actually look at other things of wrestling just cause. And nothing is truly superior than another. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
More people can learn from that example and Samoa Joe and people like Bailey. Anyway.
J-Chip, I get what you're saying. I think the world and women's titles were changed in haste during the Rainbow Bright 2.0 era.
Yeah, that's accurate.
And I don't think they need to change the tag titles. They look good the way they are. Honestly, I've been waiting to see the world and women's titles kind of go back to what they were before the Rainbow era. I do think the little bit of rainbow tint to them helps them pop in this world of cookie cutter WWE titles. I'm looking at you, Roman Reigns, and what the women's titles looked like before those got overhauls. But yeah, I'm okay with the rainbow tint to them, just not on the tag belts too.
I would never be okay with the rainbow tint just because
I know you won't.
It's pure in black and gold or silver and gold, and that's all I have to say about that. But that being said, as I once again bring up my mood, JJ, you are a graduate of Chase U, but do you still support the very collegiate athletes you were in class with too? Clash in session, and this very well could be her graduation. Because for the second time ever in NXT history, it is a submissions match, but this time for a championship. The NXT Women's Championship, as Tiffany Stratton defends the gold against not only the youngest competitor in the entire NXT Women's division and probably in freaking women in WWE, but the athlete themselves, the bubbly, the wild, needs to lay off the caffeine and literally tapped her out previously. The Hale with the returning Andre Chase and Duke Hudson as support in the corner. All right, look, I haven't watched a lot of movies, but in the past, when you're in class, you do see stuff like, Rudy. You see stuff like Rocky. You see stuff like Remember the Titans. You see this type of stuff out of Disney, God forbid, where literally the young, bright up-and-comer, the common everyday person, not transcended from riches and royalty, finally gets the ultimate moment and victory. But I'm not going to say anything else because this is not my NXT, nor am I a student or an alumni, particularly of JU. But I know someone who is, and he's going to be on the hot seat personally for this. JJ, via kill, Tiffany Stratton, round 2, submissions only. Does Via Kill finally get it done and get the biggest moment of her career, or is it still Tiffy time, unfortunately for you and the entire Chase U family?
Well, we're going to play a little bit of audience participation here. Will somebody give me a C?
Stop! Damn it!
Give me an H.
No!
Give me
No.
an A.
Oh,
No.
Give me an S.
I'm
No.
doing it.
Give me an E.
No.
Give me a U.
No.
What does that spell? Chase U.
He's misspelled it, botch. All right. But before you say anything else, on behalf of Alpha Academy and those that are kind of against this act, thank you for not going along with that. All right, go ahead, JJ.
Tiffany is the one I was alluding to earlier when I heard about the round of call-ups. I don't know how she feels about her development. You know, we were discussing earlier how she said that she needed some more time in NXT when they talked to her about it last time.
Yes.
Not sure how she feels about herself now with the last couple of months, but the higher ups are still really high on her. So I'm hearing rumor that she could be moving on up. And if she's moving on up, then that means my girl, Thea, is going to get the belt. And I want her to win it so bad.
I know you do.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not Tiffany's biggest fan. I would rather it not be Tiffy time, but she has impressed me since becoming champion. She has really stepped her game up.
Mhm.
Is she Mandy Rose? Is she, Roxanne Perez? No. But she's really stepped her game up since becoming champ. That being said, I think Thea needs this victory. I think Thea needs to get that definitive victory over her. She's already made her tap more than once.
Yep.
Tiffany doesn't have any submissions that we know of.
No.
Right there in of itself, it should be easy to give it to Thea. Is she going to be a long-term champion? No. I see Thea being transitional because at the end of the day, it's better to have a heel champion with the babyface trying to chase than it is to have a babyface champion with the heel trying to chase. There's
fair.
exceptions to every rule. I'm looking at Hulk Hogan. I'm looking at John Cena. But I don't think Tiffy time is getting over to the extent that they want it to get over. So if you pass it to Thea, then you could very easily pass it to Blair Davenport.
And that
Whereas
could be your match.
Blair defeating Tiffy, that's heel. There's no money there.
No.
But you give it to Thea, and then you've got Blair Davenport. You've got JC Jane. You've got a potentially returning Cora Jade. You've got the TikTok twins. You've got the TikTok twins with Noam Dar. You've got Kiana.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a bunch of good, solid heels that can go after Thea. You've got Ava Rain.
Oh, I didn't even
and
think
the
about
potentially of trying to get that belt into the schism. But you've got to get the belt off of Tiffy first. There's far less baby faces to be chasing Tiffany than there are heels. You've got Gigi, you've got Fallon, you've got Roxy. That's about it right now. because Nikita's still out on injury, Wendy's still out on injury, and the two that are teaming up with Dragon Lee and Nathan Frazier are so forgettable I can't even remember what the hell their names are. So obviously they're not anything relevant as of yet.
And you got Sol Ruka out.
Who's still injured. Yeah, see,
Oh,
all the
come
good
on.
baby faces are out injured. So you give the belt to a baby face, and now you got the heels on Thea's heels.
Or sneakers. Just saying, because, you know.
Once again, give me a C.
No.
Give me an H.
No.
Give me an A. Give me an S. Give me an E. Give me a U. What's that spell? New NXT Women's Champion.
JJ, I'm just going to say this real quick before I give it to Chris and talk about the poll here. You realize what you and Chris just did? You named practically every woman in NXT. How many women right now are doing something of relevancy on the main roster versus that? With an identity. Just saying. That being said, I'll even one up you here because as much as I get on her case of the lack of caffeine, I can respect somebody that actually knows how to do a Kimura lock, even being endorsed by Charlie Dempsey and Drew Gulak in some weird capacity. Chase U is the perky, shining star people want to see succeed. Why I still believe that Lyra Valkyria was leaps and bounds ready above both of these ladies to be the champion. But the fact that Rhea Ripley has been endorsing her tells me Lyra might have more stock going for her, where she doesn't need to be pursuing the title, even though she hasn't won a championship yet in her WWE career. Still pissed off about NXT UK, but I digress.
Thank you. I've completely forgotten about Lyra.
Well, there you go. That's just how many women there are to try and remember.
What about that new girl with Dana Brooke?
Dana Brooke has a newbie?
Yeah, that's right. I
Yeah.
forget her name. She's been on TV for a couple of weeks. Dana Brooke has been kind of mentoring her.
And then apparently the Bella twins passed the baton to the Kavinder twins, so we'll see what they can do in the ring besides look good. So, I'm just going to say this real quick before I give it to Chris. And I'm on video for this. I believe I'm going to do this. If Thea Hill wins the NXT Women's Championship, I will personally enroll in Chase U and buy a Chase U shirt and wear it on the next NXT Live Watch Along.
Yes!
So, Chris, you're on the bubble with that because despite the valedictorian speech by JJ for Thea Hill, I do think Tiffany is going to retain. So, Chris, a majority believe that the champ's going to retain 90%, while 10% are going with Thea Hill. And again, she has not shown a submission. Does that make her more of a unknown threat who's been learning behind Thea's back and could surprise her in a submission? Chris, do you have a new champion, or do you still think Tiffany time continues?
Well, what JJ said about Chase U, personally, I hope in 2024 we get Chase U versus Alpha Academy. And personally, Alpha Academy would definitely be Chase U any day of the week. Thank you.
Because I agree.
See, I would rather see the Creed brothers versus Alpha Academy.
Yes.
But that's just me.
But no, I agree. But I think he's just going with the fact that you would have two institutions going up against each other. Although Creed Brothers and Alpha Academy, that is a collegiate wrestling classic, if booked and respected correctly, WWE. That could be a pay-per-view stealer. Anyway, Chris, continue.
And personally, Chase U is not a real college or a real university. You can even look it up. And it's not real.
Go to chaseu.com and put in your application.
Well,
Chris,
the application.
University.
Chris, come here. I got a secret.
What?
Wrestling's fake too.
Full gasp.
Saying, bro,
Oh,
like,
my-
come on. Enjoy
Okay.
the gimmick. It
Enjoy
is
the
so
gimmick.
good.
That's why I play with JJ with it, to be fair. Because again, I remember what I said in chat, JJ, that I care about 3 of these matches. This is the second of those three. And by the way, if you
See?
haven't figured out by now, the first two are both the women ones. I'm sorry again, Chris, for disrupting you. Chris, continue.
And personally, this is going to be an entertaining match. I'm actually going to say it. I picked Tiffany Stratton to retain. I'm sticking to Tiffany Stratton because she literally won the championship at NXT Battlegrounds, and there's no way they're going to have her drop that championship. And what I said earlier, we're going to get Tiffany versus Roxanne. That's going to be money. That's going to be a money match to see, and that's possibly going to be Roxanne's final NXT championship match that she's ever going to have before going in the main roster. And personally, if anyone is going to dethrone Tiffany Stratton, I'm going to mark my word. I'm going to have to say it. I wish she could go back being a babyface again and finally win the NXT championship. I'm going with Cora Jade being the one to dethrone Tiffany Stratton. I hope Cora Jade goes back being babyface, bring back the skaterboard gimmick. I would like to see that happen. And personally, if it does happen, Mike Ork is going to win it.
I like the fact that we got contrasting No Mercy Women's Championship matches here. And I could literally see both happening. And honestly, the Weapons Wild result might be a domino effect to this. Blair Davenport versus Fia Hale. Roxanne Perez versus Tiffany Stratton. Cora Jade, once bad, back to being good. Now going after Tiffany, which would be sudden. But again, weirder things have happened. And Cora Jade, again, she has not been champion. Fia Hale's not been champion. Blair Davenport hasn't been champion. Roxanne Perez, former champion. Tiffany Stratton, current champion. Either way, look at that dynamic of a women's championship picture. Either way, I honestly cannot feel disappointed if any of these type of matches are booked at No Mercy, despite the marketing name that I find stupid because they can't take over. But I like that, Chris. And again, JJ, he might be onto something. I don't know the Corey J thing, but as far as the whole Tiffany Stratton and Roxanne Perez thing, he very might be onto something, but you might be onto something with the Fia Hale versus Blair Davenport. Either of your results are very likely.
He might be, but I kind of agree with what Sean said. Someone has to beat Tiffany.
I agree.
Not named Roxanne.
Right.
You don't want Roxy to become the John Cena of the NXT women's division.
God, no.
That's going to get people to turn on her.
And then her anxiety will kill her.
And I think Roxy has it in her, at least WWE wise. I don't know what she did ROH. She wasn't on my radar prior.
That's fair.
But I think she has what it takes in WWE to be that Ricky Steamboat that never turns heel. I think she has it in her to be that long-term consummate good guy. Good girl technically, but comparing it to Steamboat, that baby face that never turns heel. Because she's so loved and so respected. Mm-hmm. So in order to prevent that, you need to not John Cena her. You need to not Charlotte Flair her. She can have title reigns, but they need to not be so close together, and they need to be not long term. And not every title reign needs to be close to a year long. Right. I respect WWE for trying to put some stank on these titles and not having them be hot potatoes. Looking at you, Tony Khan, in the TNT title. But at the same time, every champion doesn't need to be a 200+ day champion. We can have some 90-day, 100-day, 50-day championship reigns, and it's okay. Mm-hmm. As long as it's not, someone holding the belt for 24 hours or 3 title changes in 3 weeks, looking at the main roster women's tag titles. We can have a Battleground to Great American Bash title reign, and that's okay.
Right.
But I do like where you're coming from there, Chris. I don't want to see Roxy get that Cena shoved down the throat push.
with her
Because people
anxiety as
will
well.
turn on her.
Yeah, and that anxiety, again, anxiety can cripple a person. We've seen it before. This industry can make or break you physically and especially mentally. If they try and give her that short of stock or showcase, that could literally collapse her before she even begins in WWE beyond her second year. It's one of those things where I think if NXT is going to be truly a different brand, a standout, the development brand, you have to try and create as much talent as possible on a regular basis. Roxanne has had her moment in the sun more times over since coming to WWE. So I do think that with Blair Davenport Thea Hale being two originals and a first-time idea, I kind of want to go with that. But as far as Tiffany goes, to take it off of the Tiffany, if it's not going to be Lyra Valkyria, who came the freaking closest, I'm not exactly sure how you reset a new women's title picture in the span of, well, I guess technically got 2 months, so I guess they could do something there. And with a lot of the babyfaces getting injured, I do think NXT right now are spinning their wheels, thinking about what they could do post this show. Because I do think Soruka has incredible potential, and I would love to see her go after the title if she wasn't
As
injured.
do I.
Actually, Soruka was the one I was thinking about.
As do I. And like I said, I want to make sure I take nothing away from Tiffany. Because she has earned my respect.
Absolutely.
I just don't see her as a long-term champion right now.
Neither
Nor do I see Thea as a long-term champion.
No, not at all.
Again, Great American Bash to No Mercy, that's a 2-month reign. That's respectable. And then Blair Davenport, if my theory is correct, can hold that belt till somebody beats her at Stand and Deliver.
Oh, most definitely. She was a force to be reckoned with in Stardom. You're freaking kidding me? And also, to go with that credit, I do wonder, JJ, if India Hartwell wasn't called up, would she have gone this far as champion per se?
I don't think so.
I don't
think she would have.
I think, again, she finally had the moment, but it's not like she needed to have it for 6 months. I honestly could have seen her lose it at Battleground against insert name here. It could have been Tiffany, honestly, because Tiffany and Indy were the first few they were building.
Yeah, I don't think she would have. And what's sad is I completely forgot that she had the belt for a minute there. Because when I was naming off my people, I named off Mandy and Roxy, but I had completely forgotten that because of Roxy's anxiety and collapse, the belt was up for grabs in a ladder match and Indy had gotten it.
That's fair, because she was immediately drafted shortly after that, too, which made the moment even less diminishing and still pisses me off to this day.
Yeah, and then Tiffy got it.
Like I said, I respect
So Indy's whole reign was forgettable because of how quick it was.
Yeah, that was too quick.
So, I mean...
That balance. You got to find that balance, basically, is what me and JJ are talking about, folks. There's a balance between building a champion or a superstar and preserving the championship thereof.
Yeah. The only reason I could see Tiffany retaining, and this is going to be a sad comparison here, so please don't begrudge me this, but the only reason I could see Tiffany retaining is because of the popularity of the Barbie movie. You think about her gimmick, her appearance, her presentation, very Barbie-esque. The fact that movie is still... You do that, but I'm serious.
I know.
And you know I'm right.
Yes, I know you are.
That's the only reason I could see Tiffy retaining, but...
I'm going to go see Barbie tomorrow.
Are you going to do the Barbenheimer double feature that everyone's doing?
No, I'm going to see Barbie with my family, and personally, I feel it's going to be like a good movie. Are you going to be doing like a review on your Casey's Studios?
I am not going to be doing that one just yet. I will probably get to it at some point, but it is not on my docket, no. See the chat room, Keen Mike says, kind of makes sense.
If she
James
shows up,
with the "She's a Barbie girl."
and it ain't gonna
in
not
a
cover
In
right.
the
Barbie
Barbie
world.
Not
world.
copyright, not copyright, damn it, not copyright. I will
Wait a
cut this
minute.
feed right now.
Is,
Not
is
copyright.
Aqua a British band? Maybe we can get Noah to sing that during British Invasion karaoke on the 19th.
Hey, I'm just gonna say this
Or-
right now. If
Or
she
Noah
shows
can
out,
sing Barbie, the Barbie song.
shut up. If she shows out this Sunday, I swear to God, if she shows out on Sunday in a pink convertible and all pink attire, I'm personally blaming you and walking out the room. You're calling that match yourself.
Aqua is a Danish Norwegian Europop group, so they do count. If someone
Damn
wants to super chat to make Noah sing Barbie Girl on our British Invasion karaoke,
Don't listen to him. He's a madman, dude. Focus on your Beatles and your freaking Young Punks or whatever that song is, or the theme of NXT UK. Focus on fuck. Can't speak right now. Well, damn it! Damn
I'm
it!
not
Damn it! You both.
flustered.
All right. Well, again, we've had a lot of fun here. I hope everybody's enjoying the conversation. Please let us go comment, tell a friend, enroll in Chase U if you want to. Again, folks, your predictions matter and the opinions matter too. The forum will be, of course, not only in the description after this video is done, but also it's already on the community tab and pinned to my Twitter. You got till 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday night to finalize them and at least get them in. But before we get there, there's been a lot of talk, but Chris, you wanted to lead it, so here we go. It is time for our NXT Great American Bash main event, as we'll see if the one of one, if him does not miss, or truly is this individual Umba Singh Ba and uncrowned. As the NXT Championship is on the line, as Carmelo Hayes defends the prize against Ilya Dragunov. Let's fucking go. All I'm going to say in opening thoughts, me and JJ called Battleground, and we saw what either Dragunov was willing to do to make sure Dijak stood down and that he was the last man standing. Since then, he and Braun Breaker, yes, I did go watch that match. Had a number one contenders bout. It was pretty damn good, I have to say. And either Dragunov won. We know what both men believe in. We know the will each man has to be champion. We know the dedication each man has to be the guy in this brand, to be the leader, to be the flag bearer, to be the one who holds the richest prize. What are they willing to do to each other, though, to make sure that happens? And I always have to keep this thought in the back of my mind. Trick Williams is a difference maker, player. Chris, you're on point. Your thoughts on this match and your pick. Do you have a new NXT champion?
Well, this is going to be a banger between Carmelo Hayes, Ilya Dragunov.
Damn
this
right.
is the match that I'm actually looking forward on seeing. This is the match I have been waiting to see since it ever got announced. It's going to be a banger, and every Ilya Dragunov match is a banger. Go watch Ilya Dragunov versus Gunther for the NXT UK Championship. Go watch Ilya Dragunov versus Braun Breaker. That was a banger. Go watch Ilya Dragunov face anybody from NXT UK. That was a banger. Every match he's in is a banger. So
Unintended.
So it's going to be a banger match. I do see Carmelo Hayes retaining the NXT Championship. He has a good ring. He won the championship at Stand and Deliver back in WrestleMania weekend. There's no way they're taking the championship off of Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes is going to retain. And Noah, are you a man of your words? If I get the ending of NXT Great American Bash, would you give me a shout out on the watch along? Because I have a perfect ending to Great American Bash.
Go for it.
Well, this is why what did I talk about earlier? Oh yeah. when we talked about the first match. Dirty Dom Mysterio is going to retain the NXT North American Championship. We have Rhea Ripley there. She's the Women's World Championship. I have a gut feeling Finn Balor is also going to be making a trip to NXT Great American Bash on Sunday. And also, as I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it, I'm hearing rumblings that the WWE is very high on Judgment Day, and they're the hottest thing going for WWE ever since what went down with the Bloodline, as we know it. I'm hearing rumblings that they won all championship gold on Judgment Day. I think that's going to happen. Here's why. I do believe, and I'm making this early, my heart is going to go with Finn Balor to become the new War Heavyweight Championship next Saturday at SummerSlam. I'm putting that out there. I think Finn is going to become the new War Championship. I could change my mind up until the prediction show next week and SummerSlam on next Saturday. Right. I'm saying Finn becomes World Heavyweight Champion. And I'm going to tell you this, Damian Priest, he is Senior Mr. Money in the Bank.
See?
This Sunday, he is not going to be Senior Mr. Money in the Bank anymore. This Sunday, Damian Priest becomes Senior and brand new NXT champion. And then when Finn Balor becomes world champion, you got all the gold on Judgment Day, and they are going to run WWE.
Well. Screw the dissension. Go straight up with the ascension of Judgment Day, ruling Raw and NXT. That is something I think others could actually believe as well, considering how much Raw and NXT with Judgment Day are becoming one and the same, with them being on top. But that being said, JJ, as far as this match goes, they do have Carmelo Hayes retaining the title, but now I do wonder, does he leave with the title? JJ, what's your thoughts on that?
I see Carmelo retaining. I see Carmelo leaving with the belt. I don't think Damian Priest wants to take a step down. I think he wants to take a step up. It made sense for Dominic to take the step down.
Right.
Especially when you look at Theory and Gunther. I'm just saying, you've already got two heel champions, so having a heel challenge them, not a good look.
Mm-hmm.
And the only one that would possibly be believable for him to defeat is Theory, who's on SmackDown, and Dom is a Raw guy. Brand split, LOL, I know, but still, let's try to keep within the parameters here for the storytelling.
I understand.
What's more believable, although still outside of the realms of believability, would be Jey Uso defeating Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. And Senior Money in the Bank cashing in the briefcase on Jey Uso.
We are going to talk about that a whole damn lot next week on City Predicting, folks. Guarantee you that.
That is a little bit more believable because you've got Jimmy who can return, cost Roman the belt. You've got Solo who can turn and realign with his brothers. You've got Rikishi, their father, who could get involved. You've got the possibility of the Great One getting involved, especially with the back and forth that's been going on social media between him and one Grayson Waller. You end up with a Grayson Waller effect with Dwayne on it. He's in the building anyways.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a little bit more believable, especially since Jay was Roman's first challenger once this historic reign began.
There's was one other name you didn't mention.
Circle of Life.
As it moves us all. Let's not forget the wise man. How wise is he? Just saying.
So, while I do see the Judgment Day on top of the WWE, I don't see, as I like to call him to mess with my daughter, Poppy Priest, coming out on top in NXT. He's either going to cash in once Balor takes it off of Seth, or he's going to cash in on whoever defeats Roman. He's not going to go down to NXT for that title.
Yeah, I agree more so with JJ here, Chris. Why, again, at one point he tried to go after the NXT championship. Heck, he was mostly feuding only for the NXT North American championship. Eventually he did get it. Then Johnny Gargano got back his own way, but I digress. It's one of those things where if Damian Priest uses the Money in the Bank briefcase to cash in on the NXT World Championship, I feel, again, they devalue it. At the end of the day, these brands are not equal. And they won't ever be. All right? There are two key prizes in WWE if you want to be on top of this industry. It's the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship or the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Simple as that. And if Raw is going to be brand exclusive, LOL, and Damian Priest is going to rule Raw alongside Judgment Day, dissension be damned, he's got to cash in on either Seth freaking Rollins or Finn Balor. And while the perfect opportunity is right there for him at SummerSlam, it was last year Austin Theory tried to cash in on Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, and he got freaking F5 in the briefcase for his troubles. Now, while I don't think that will happen here in any capacity, I actually want to see Damian Priest continue that long, lull tease to usurping the prince, because I don't want Damian Priest to fucking miss. I also don't want it to be rushed.
Same.
There you go. I think you do have Judgment Day with all the gold, but you also have them with the power in hand, because Damian Priest controls the judgment. So that's why I think Damian Priest is not going to be involved in any capacity at NXT Great American Bash. And I do think, even though it kind of hurts me to say this, it is short for him. At this point, there still is that idea, okay, Carmelo Hayes, are you ready? Yes or no? Magic 8-Ball, give me an answer. Ask again later. We don't know at this point. But yes, his run has been short. And as a champion, has he really done a lot? He beat Jinder Mahal. Bleh. He beat Baron Corbin. Bleh. He beat Braun Breaker twice. Okay, that's his biggest accomplishments. He really hasn't done a whole lot to show us what he really can be as the flagship bearer of this NXT. He needs to really show out and do something. And against somebody like Ilya Dragunov that has unbreakable resolve and is virtually one of the most intense guys you will ever face with a very small blemish record, I think him beating Ilya Dragunov raises his stock and raises the stock of the NXT Championship. I don't know how he does it without maybe Trick Williams in his aid, but I do think Carmelo Hayes needs to retain a little longer. And again, the next show, what's it called? No Mercy. Ilya Dragunov comes back with a vengeance. He literally gives no remorse, no recourse, no freaking mercy. I'm just saying. It makes sense personally for me to see Carmelo Hayes continue to be NXT champion and run it back with Ilya Dragunov. So I do believe that freaking Carmelo Hayes will not miss, shoot, and hit nothing but net, and somehow put down the unbreakable resolve of Ilya Dragunov for 3 seconds. I have Carmelo Hayes retaining, and Damian Priest doesn't show up at all.
And the other thing to consider is there was all the talk around WrestleMania about Judgment Day expanding post WrestleMania. And while that has not happened as of yet,
Right.
if Priest were to cash in on whomever on SmackDown, you've got the Raw and the SmackDown contingent of Judgment Day. If Priest leaves the Raw group because he's now SmackDown champion, that gives an in for JD McDonough to come in under Finn's wing, and for Priest to begin his own Judgment Day on SmackDown. You can bring Edge back into Judgment Day. Edge was, Damian Priest was Edge's first recruit.
True.
So now that Priest is kind of on his own, kind of doing the SmackDown Judgment thing, he could go back to the original leader.
So, here's my thing, though, about that. Do you think they risk overexposing and stretching out this act if they try and start taking over SmackDown? Some people already think the Judgment Day is kind of pushing the threshold, being a mainstay on both Monday Night Raw and NXT. Do you think it's maybe to the point that it could become overkill and then start detracting people versus attracting them?
You run that risk with anything, unfortunately. The plus side is that right now, with the exception of Dirty Dom, despite them being heels, the fans seem to love the Judgment Day. The fans love Balor. They love Mommy. They love Priest.
Right.
Dirty Dom gets that X-Pac go away heat. But everybody else, despite being heels, the fans seem to love them. So they've got that going for them. Whereas the Bloodline had gotten old, had gotten stale. We needed something fresh. But you think about it, for a while there, the saturation of the Bloodline, Usos being on Raw and SmackDown, it was working for a bit until people just started to really get tired post-Mania of the Roman show.
Mm-hmm. And they finally gave it a different direction. Now it's a whole new freaking lifeblood, pun intended, going into SummerSlam. It's just one of those things that were also, again, JD McDonough. Like, what have they done with him since the post-draft? Honestly, now that I think about it, because of the rivalry and the fact he never became the freaking champion, if Ilya does surprise us, because I could see this match going either way, and this is the third match, by the way, I care about the most.
I figured.
Come on now.
I know you and your love for Ilya Dragunov, so.
You're damn right. If Ilya does beat Carmelo Hayes, what if that brings in JD McDonough and that's his agenda for the Judgment Day, to finally become the NXT champion, beating his ultimate rival? Because either Dragunov and JD McDonough, they might as well be destined to fight forever. So there are a lot of different ways I could see the inclusion of Judgment Day dominate not just Raw, but NXT in the pursuit to dominate all of WWE. But just on paper, I do think Carmelo Hayes, if he loses here, then his work is all for naught. I think Carmelo Hayes needs this win more than Ilya Dragunov does, because Ilya was the face of the NXT UK brand. Carmelo Hayes is learning what it means to be the face of this NXT, and I think he's just starting. I gotta go with Hayes.
Yeah, I see Carmelo getting called up next year, but that just means that he can have the belt until Stand and Deliver. Add a few more jerseys to his rafters.
Yeah, and to be fair, Braun Breaker, he literally had that title for practically a year. Not that I'm saying that freaking the Carmelo Hayes needs that, like we talked about earlier, but he does need it a little longer, in my opinion. And that very well, I've been saying it week after week after week. If someone's going to beat the Ligue Generale, one or two names is the only names I can think of. JD McDonough or Ilya Dragunov. If it's not one of those two, he's not dropping that damn title. Spoiler alert for my prediction on Drew McIntyre versus Gunther, if you already didn't know. But the match is sacred.
Just wait till October 2nd.
Show me Ilya. Show me JD. Change my mind then. Don't do that. Gunther continues. Simple.
And like I said, as long as it's on October 2nd, because come September 30th, he will pass the honky-tonky meter.
There you go.
October 2nd would be the Raw after that. and he's a Raw guy, so just make it happen then. Let him get past the honky-tonky meter, even if only by 2 days.
Just do
Then
it.
you can take the strap off of him.
Yeah, I agree, because he deserves to be. Again, this title has not been this important since 2016 when The Miz held it. There, I said it. Wesley Conklin here with a super chat, and I will acknowledge that. Thank you, by the way, for that. Someone can screen cap that, because I am a man of my word. I am the man of the people. Fine, you will get that before the end of British Karaoke Night, but I'm not wearing pink. Damn it.
Screen capped.
You're welcome.
I would like to see you wear pink.
The fuck that! You got nah.
Dude, just go to like 99-cent store or something. See if you can find like a pink beanie to put on during the song.
Or a pink
It's only going to
tie.
cost you a couple of bucks. Yeah, or a pink tie. I'm sure you can get a pink tie at a thrift store, Goodwill, a Salvation Army. Probably only cost you like less than $5 for a pink tie.
Yeah, I'll spend $5 on a solid, simple black tie and try to wipe the memory of everybody here like the Men in Black before I do that. All right, just gonna put that out there.
Yeah, James says
you,
if someone super chats another $20, then Noah will wear something pink while he does it.
Fuck, JJ! But before we get into that madness, shout out by the way again to those that put in their predictions and their comments, and several of them say the same thing. My NXT, damn it. Not my NXT. Nope. Still not my NXT. Can't wait. Hashtag not my NXT. Good card. Can't wait. Definitely love all the thoughts and opinions and comments. Definitely love engaging with you both here tonight in this conversation. This was definitely an engaging talk, but instead of predicting the Great American Bash of Weights, we will see who stands tall at the end with their hand raised as champion and who is on their way towards maybe a championship. With that being said, folks, thank you once again for tuning in. Shout out to Jay Hebert, Side 95. Follow James Hebert. Follow to Dirty Productions. He has a little plug here real quick for Way Up Fuse Wrestling, a clip from the Indie Force podcast explaining it all. He is getting closer to his goal. Again, congratulations, my friend. I look forward to engage with you once again on Open Mic Night tomorrow night with the Saturday Night Shenanigans hosted by, of course, the Renegade JJ Williams. And already people putting the bid out there, freaking $20. $20 wear a pink tie. Damn, we'll see. We'll see. Freaking the end of the month if people try to spend your money on damn bills for something more important. Dadgummit. Damn it. Anyway, thank you all once again for tuning in. Appreciate all of you. Before we conclude, let's go ahead and plug, promote, chill, and then bid ourselves a fine adieu to the rest of whatever Friday night has to come to. Again, Chris, always a pleasure. You are by far the lexicon of social media, so let's go ahead and get your graphic up and break it down one at a time. Where can people find, connect, and engage with you?
Well, it's always been a pleasure coming on the Simply Predicting panel. I had a good time tonight. Where you guys can find me at is on my X account. Is not Twitter anymore. It's now X. So on my X account is uppercase C, lowercase ROTZ 24. My Instagram is CMROTZ_6472. My Facebook is Christopher Rots. My Discord is CRots2423. My Snapchat is C_Rots17. My TikTok is Rots_2423. It's always been a pleasure coming on the Simply Predicting panel. The next time you'll be seeing me on a Simply Predicting panel will be with Noah and Jeff this coming Thursday night. Did we set a time for that on Thursday, or we're going to do that?
Not yet for
a
Horseman Hype, but that will be the Horseman Hype panel. Then I got Simply Predicting with JJ, Jeff, and I'm sure others will want to be involved too for the biggest part of biggest part of the summer, SummerSlam next week Friday, probably normal time too. But anyway, continue.
So Thursday will be the Horseman Hype for SummerSlam. I can't wait to be with the Four Horsemen again. The last time
get a hold of us, dude. Let us know your schedule, bruv. And Jeff, hope you're doing well, as we are the Horsemen of predictions.
The last time we were all together to do a panel was during SummerSlam of 2021. So,
Crazy.
And if you guys want to, before Thursday, go watch SummerSlam 2021 prediction video with the 4 horsemen.
That was the last video I think I did not in a suit.
So it's always been a pleasure. I'm not going to be here for the rest of the ending. I have to bow out right now. Thank you so much for allowing me to come on. I'll be seeing you guys on Thursday for the Horseman Hype. Please say yes to NoDQ.com and enjoy life. Be positive and have a good weekend, folks. Stay hydrated and let's enjoy NXT Great American Bash this Sunday on Peacock. Thank you, everybody, and have a good weekend.
Thank you, Chris. God bless you, and God bless your family. And again, God bless America. JJ, always a pleasure. Again, you and I, we get our chemistry back in order. We don't call stuff enough anymore because WWE doesn't give overkill of content, thankfully. But it's going to be interesting to see how we engage with each other this Sunday at NXT. But before then, besides the Saturday Night Shenanigans, I know there's a few things that you've done recently with the members only that I still got here, and it's always a pleasure. So where you want to plug, where can people find you? Besides here, clearly.
Well, you can always find me on the social medias, Instagram, the Renegade JJ Williams. The social media formerly known as the Tweeter, I am still ROWJJ Williams. On YouTube, Casa D18 Studios. I am still doing my Disney movies, the 31 Days of Disney. I've been on a brief hiatus this week because I had my daughter for the better part of the week.
Aww.
So I haven't been able to get into the studio and can all the episodes. So be expecting an overload of movie reviews coming on Monday and Tuesday, because Monday is the soonest I'll be able to get in the studio again.
That's fair.
I'm going to get like 6 episodes over 2 days. Go subscribe to the members only exclusive content on the channel. I still need to finish watching the Best of Takeover 2018. Again, priorities over passions. It happens.
Absolutely.
So that will be going up soon. This Saturday, tomorrow, we'll get the call for me and Noah calling the WrestleMania 21 Money in the Bank ladder match that was voted on by the fans, as well as Edge's cash-in, with a special cash-in on the call by the one and only West Coast Professor Jeff Meacham.
He took the opportunity, by God!
Yep, the ultimate opportunist came in and crashed that one. So, but we enjoyed having him on for that. And then, of course, the members only people can vote as to which SummerSlam match you want Noah and I to call. In a weird turn of events, we've gotten 5 votes so far on the second poll, but there's only 3 votes on the first poll, which means there's a 3-way tie. So if we can get those other 2 people, whoever you are out there in internet land, to vote on the first poll, hopefully break the tie up, then we can have the winners go against each other at the end. Brett versus Davey from SummerSlam 92 gets a bye into the final round for voting.
As it should.
And we'll see what match me and Noah will call for our SummerSlam callback. But right now, as it stands, it's The Rock and Triple H from SummerSlam 98 that's winning the second poll.
Oh, nice.
We've also got votes on Angle Mysterio from 02, Brett versus Owen from 94, and Cena versus Styles from 16.
Oh, that was such a damn good match. And Marvinello just made the match so much perfect. God, I miss that man's voice in wrestling.
But Rock and Triple H, is the one that's leading right now. So
it's a classic. From the Garden. It's a classic.
It's the SummerSlam that got me into professional wrestling. It was my first pay-per-view that I saw. So
yeah. I've been saying it since I've been born on February 10th, 1992. I mean, again, I can't remember a whole lot from when I was once a wee lad, but I do remember my mom bringing me into the business, and it was that SummerSlam that year, that particular match that made me a fan of the industry in the first place. So there you go.
That pay-per-view as a whole, and that match particularly, hold a special place in my heart. You figure you also got the X-Pac Jeff Jarrett hair versus hair match on that card. You've got Austin and Taker, Highway to Hell. You've got Oddities versus Kai and Tai, with the ICP performing the Oddities to the ring. It was a great card, top to bottom.
Oh, bar
Definitely peak Attitude Era stuff there.
none.
But I hope, secretly, I hope that ladder match wins, because for the longest time that was my favorite match.
Yeah.
Period in pro wrestling. So it would be awesome to get to call that, and then calling 2 ladder matches back to back. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of works with itself, right? But I guess we'll
mean,
find out soon enough. So again, folks, if you haven't already, please become a member at Castle
Yes.
D18 Studios. Enjoy the exclusive content, the exclusive calls that we've done there. More is to come, including the SummerSlam one as we go from there. And again, thank you, Wesley, for the super chat. It will be
Yes.
honored, I promise you.
I was just going to say that myself. Thank you again, Wesley, for that super chat.
Yep.
Make sure you guys tune in to Open Mic Night tomorrow. Not going to give too much away because I'm still working out topics, but one thing we're definitely going to discuss is we're going to discuss the rise of Dominic Mysterio. It's time to give this man his flowers with everything he's done since breaking off from his dad. And definitely going to get deep into that and discussing how he's risen to the occasion since joining the Judgment Day. First man in history to main event Raw, NXT, and SmackDown all in the same week. Challenge for the tag titles, came up on the losing side, won the North American title, successfully defended the North American title all in the same week. Main event matches. Got to give the man some love, whether you hate him or not. It's time to give the man the respect he deserves.
Can't argue that. Like I told you, again, I might be the commentator that reacts to the character, but you definitely have to respect the worker. And he's definitely put in the work. So respect all around. Good stuff. And good stuff, JJ, also always respect to you, too. And again, respect to everybody that's tuned in across the multiverse of Mia here, across both the channels. I thank you all for tuning in. And again, if you want to know more about me, know this, for I am but a simple man, my fellow professional wrestling fans. But also, of course, a lifelong fan of professional wrestling, damn it! But I digress. So if you want, find me on, I'm still going to call it Twitter because fuck names. Find me on that app by whatever you name it, and YouTube primarily, and in Foster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, the entire ATW family across the Twitter and other social media platforms. You want to be part of the prediction leagues? Again, you'll find the forums, you'll find the leaderboards, and all the social stuff pinned to X, Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it, on the profile there. You'll also find updates to a degree, as well as the pictures I can actually post on the community tab on my Sybil YouTube channel, including a link to the forum here. And stay tuned for the next ATW review. There might be a quick chat with me and the King regarding SummerSlam and other things after ATW Dynamite next week. But that'll probably be pre-recorded, so stay tuned for more on that. But check out the entire ATW review playlist, as you've been seeing episodes lately of the uncensored, unfiltered, unorganized routine that we do quarterly to a degree across Throwback Thursdays at Cast 18 Studios. You'll find my voice with Zero or Owen or James, respectfully, weekly on AEW Spark, the platform that discusses all things All Elite Wrestling on a weekly basis. We do not know what we're going to do the next episode, so stay tuned for more on that. Me, JJ, and James, minimally, will always be with you for the Saturday Night Weekly Shenanigans that are Open Mic Night, regularly scheduled time again this week, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Should be a fun night. Going to be good. And again, shout out to the entire City Predicting family, whether you are a longtime fan or just coming in or coming back into the business. Appreciate all of you. Appreciate your voice, your opinions, your personalities too. Because City Predicting is for anybody that is a fan of this industry with a conscious consideration and kindness to a degree. And if you thought this City Predicting was wild, guess what? They're not letting up anytime soon. Here's the next batch of City Predictings that I just keep going through the Rolodex of shows. Lord help me. Here we go. Next up will be SummerSlam, followed by the Multiverse United 2, followed by AEW All In. By the way, Jimmy Hater, get well soon. Damn it! Emergence, Payback, AEW All Out, and Victory Road, and Fast Lane. Of course, now I have to adjust that because, damn it, NXT! They put a show on the 30th, so technically that will be replaced with No Mercy.
I was just going to say, got to add No Mercy to that list.
Yeah, I know that good. Damn it. And of course, you can stay tuned for what follows City Predicting usually is the Jeopardy Direct live watch events, where my voice is always used in some capacity, and I'm alongside any form of J's you want to call, whether it's JJ Williams, James Hebert, or good old JM Jeff Meacham, calling you the best shows possible, the biggest shows in the wrestling industry. Next up will be Sunday night for NXT Great American Bash. It'll be me and JJ on the call. SummerSlam, you will not have me because, believe it or not, the Simple Man is going to SummerSlam. It will be JJ leading the call with somebody else or a round table of cohorts. I look forward to watching that back. And if I have a voice, I will be a part of the post show when I get home because chances are I'm probably going home after the show. But yes, I'm actually going to SummerSlam. Lord help me.
Hopefully we can convince James to do commentary for that one, even though he doesn't do WWE anymore. That way we can have a standard play-by-play guy.
I think you and James held it down the first half of SummerSlam last year when I was in that cornhole tournament. I think you all are more than capable to do it again. And honestly, I even said it with my friend King. JJ, this show potentially could be WWE's show of the year with the card they're building, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. And I'm actually invested in it.
Good. I appreciate that, sir.
But of course, besides SummerSlam, I will be back, of course, on the call with you on all these other shows with the Multiverse United 2, the first night of the NWA 75, as we look if Natalia Makova can dethrone Camille for the Burke. AEW All in London, Emergence, Payback, and AEW All Out. And of course, following some of these big shows in wrestling, me, JJ, and or James will be giving you a simple take, an extended post-show conversation at a time live on the biggest shows in all things wrestling. And the next up, of course, will be SummerSlam. More so that probably will be exclusively me and JJ. But if James is interested, or Jeff for that matter, we'll play that all by ear. Follow the latest member, of course, of the Multiverse of Mia Datula and her reviews and her Power Rangers content too at the Rangers of Wrestling. Follow everybody across the Multiverse of Mia. Appreciate all of you as our content, creativity, and our passion is not letting up anytime soon. But as always, I'd like to conclude what?
Really quickly, I just wanted to ask, are we not going to do a simple take for Great American Bash following it?
We could do that. I mean, we never.
How about we play by ear as far as what the card, how the show goes?
Yeah, and Walter, good to see you. And right now,
James...
Walter's hype is at a full-on perfect 10. He can't wait. Respect.
And we got confirmation from James. He will do play-by-play. It's
so,
next
folks,
Saturday, James. It's on the 5th.
Returning after a year, kid you not, it is the commentary duo of the J&J and J. I can't believe I just said that. Triple J. It is good old young at heart wrestling fan, the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams, alongside this play-by-play guy, James Hebert. He and Kim will be calling SummerSlam for you across the Championship Multiverse Mia live Saturday night, August 5th. So
it's the final Pokemon evolution of Double J. From Double J to Triple J.
Ain't this super great? I will say this is actually great. Don't do that.
My world.
I appreciate you, James. Anyway,
yes,
again, as I always like to conclude, there are no winners, there are no losers, there are no betters. Just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too. Treasure your families and just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's as simple as that. But with that being said, thank you so much once again for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, hit the bell as video goes live on demand on either of these channels or any of the channels in the multiverse of media. Go check out all the shows, all the content from all your friends across different multiverse media. Check out the Sports Bar with Dory Lou and Step Boy Mikey. Check out the continued content with the dads, not always on wrestling, the flagship show Talk Wrestling. Check out No DQ. Check out Waymouth Youth Wrestling. Check out James Hebert at Their Productions. Yes. Just check out everybody. Just do it.
Go back and watch the dads that went live just prior to this, where me, Jeff, and my dad discussed the top 10 solo Beatles songs. If you are a fan of the Fab Four, whether together or their later solo years, check it out. Lots of good conversation about the 1970 through today Beatles albums and songs.
Sounds like very good content. And go stop. I would approve of the conversation. That being said, again, as we always come together right now in any capacity here on the Multiverse Media, bringing you our content, our thoughts, our reactions, our energy, our passion in every form too. We truly do appreciate all of you. And thank you, by the way, to Wesley again, who's super chat. Give it a super chat. Give it a super sticker. With at Cast 18 Studios, he monetized, if you will. Show him some love. Or the Jeff Meacher Network. I'm not monetized. I'm just happy to support my friends. At the end of the day, we just continue doing this because we love doing this too. We got to do the work. It's as simple as that. But I think now on this Friday night for the East Coast and Friday Eve for the West Coast, we will bid you all a fine adieu till tomorrow night, Open Mic Night. So until then, make a positive impact in life as always, and have a good night. For this may not be my NXT, but it's his NXT, damn it. And I will again slowly admit it is better than what it used to be. Good night, everybody.
Stay safe, y'all.